Hello, 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 and welcome to another Merge Dragons video from Mommy Tiffany. I'm going to tell you today how I get my dragons to sleep and how I get them to stay asleep for a longer period of time. Now, the first thing you need to know about keeping your dragons asleep for longer is that you really only want to have one of these tiny dragon home level ones. So the tiny dragon home level one has the longest sleep time of any of your dragon houses. Now, if you want more dragons to wake up faster, then you want to get the higher level houses and have multiple houses so that your dragons will wake up more. Now, you're only going to have a certain number of dragons awake at any given time, and or out on your camp at any given time. Not necessarily a certain number awake, but there's going to be about 15 dragons that will be actively awake. I currently only have glowing dragon trees that my dragons can harvest from. If you just sit here and wait, your dragons won't do a whole lot. Only two of them will be actively harvesting anything at any given point in time. And if you have multiple things that they can harvest from, they will choose. Oops, I did not mean to make a three merge with that. They will choose at random whatever they are going to harvest from. And if you don't have any land on your map open that currently can be healed, it does not matter if you have all of these life trees and life flowers out, because they will not harvest from those if there is no land that needs healed. I also have saved up here some high level orbs, and bubbled over here I have a few more high level orbs for whenever I wind up clearing some more land here, which isn't going to be for a little while because I just cleared out another chunk of land here not too long ago. So I am currently working on my dragon trees, which is why I have the glowing dragon trees available. If you have out the glowing dragon trees, your dragons will harvest from those. They will only get these dragon leaves, this amber over here, and occasionally they will harvest up some of these question mark eggs down here, the ruby fire mystery eggs from those glowing trees. Occasionally they'll harvest those from them. I think they harvest those from the glowing trees. It's either that or they harvest them from the regular dragon trees and they just happened to have gotten a certain number of those while I had those out. These are my bubbled dragon trees. I am fairly close to getting that wonder. So, as you can see, the house has this smoke coming out of it. That means that there are dragons in there that are awake and they just can't come out because you can only have about 15 dragons out at a time. And my dragons are kind of harvesting from that. I'm actually going to turn the volume down because that's what you're hearing there is my dragons harvesting from that. And I'm surprised there's no music in camp right now, because usually when your dragons are awake, there's music in camp. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start tapping on these trees to get my dragons actively harvesting as opposed to the passive harvesting that they were doing. And eventually you will tire your dragons out. They will go into the house. Another dragon will pop out. And then all of your dragons eventually will be asleep. Depending on the number of dragons you have, you may have to do this for a while. It's currently showing that I have 430 actually sleeping right now. And when it comes to the sleeping dragons, they're waiting in a queue. Only one of them can sleep at a time, which is why having that lowest level dragon house, is a key pick up about every 20 minutes, I believe it is. I am not 100% on that. mergedragons isn't responding. Yes, it is. And I'm just collecting those floating sprouts because I am working on my trees. But I'm also working on my life flowers, because I have not gotten that wonder yet either. No, I'm just gonna have my dragons repeatedly get these. This should not take too terribly long, depending on how many dragons I actually have in total, which I believe is somewhere in the range of 440. I am not 100% on that. As you can see, as the dragons are going in there, other dragons are popping out. I oopsie tap the same dragon tree that a dragon is already harvesting, or occasionally, because of the position of the actual dragon itself, I wind up not waking up, tapping a dragon. I don't know if that alert was super loud on my recording. Fun times. So we just keep tapping on these. As you can see, all of my dragons are just harvesting leaves and amber. And one just went in the dragon house and another dragon pops out. We're now at 430 sleeping dragons. So we just keep on doing this. They harvest these relatively quickly. Some things are slower harvest items. Like, I have done this before with Stonehenge. It takes real long to do with Stonehenge because the dragons seem to harvest pretty slow from Stonehenge. Some dragons are not the fastest harvesters, but either way, Stonehenge takes a while to harvest from, regardless of the speed of your dragon. Some of them harvest a lot faster, some of them harvest a lot slower. Gargoyles harvest slower. Rock dragons tend to be a little bit slower on the harvesting. The Morty dragons are fairly slow harvesters. Gosh, that dragon is gorgeous. What are you exactly? Noble butterfly dragon. That is so pretty. And its name is Nyx. It's so pretty. Some of the dragons in this game are not pretty, and some of them are absolutely gorgeous. And I don't think that all dragons have to be pretty. As you can see, my dragon house has now stopped smoking, which means there's no dragons in there that are awake waiting to pop out. So any dragons that go into that dragon home at this point, no more dragons are going to pop out of there. So I want to say I was relatively correct on that, at least to an extent. Number of dragons that I actually have. So I just tapped on those dragons so they would just drop what they were carrying. You drop what you're carrying. And now they will all go back into my dragon home, and we will see officially how many dragons I actually have, just by having all my dragons go in there to sleep and none of them being awake. So I want to say we're at 449 total dragons. That appears to be a correct number. All dragons asleep, and that gives you an opportunity to clean up this big ol' mess that is now all over the place. So, oh, I did not mean to do that. It happens. I meant to grab the amber, not the dragon leaf, but it's fine. It's not ideal, but sometimes a clumsy merge happens. That is a 10. And as long as you don't merge beyond the level 3, your dragons cannot harvest from those trees. So that was a lot of dragon leaves that I just accidentally merged. Hey. I'm moderately disappointed with myself with that one, but it's not the worst thing that I have ever done. We got a 5, we got a 5. 5. 5. It's 5. That is 5. There's some sprouts I can tap. And I'm just curious how long I have been recording at this point, and it's not showing me 13 minutes or so. So I'm gonna call this video good to go. So that is an explanation of how I get all of my dragons to go to sleep. And hopefully that helps some of you guys out. If you are trying to get your dragons to go to sleep, can't figure it out quite, and just needed a little bit of tips on that. Or day, or whatever time it is when you are watching this, and happy merging!